Hello and welcome back to the podcast, We Are Selling. My name's Lee Woodward, the author of the Complete Salesperson course, and today's program is brought to you by Realtair, the home of pitch, sign and sell. Today's program is a standout. We're going to be speaking with Karen Riches. Karen will use some powerful words as she explains how her offer kit is being used, her work-life disciplines that have allowed her to get back the time, be a mum, spend the time working at the highest level and having her best year ever. 16 years in the industry, and we're going to be discussing today the topic, a chance of a great fee. And people like Karen have done so well as they stand the test of time, but they're also forever tweaking, changing and modifying what they do so they can find that perfect groove. This is a great interview. I look forward to presenting it to you. Let's cross to Karen Riches. Today's guest is Karen Riches from WA. I've known Karen for many, many years as she's gone through that journey of a real estate sales professional from solo agent, big office, little office, and then working alongside a leverage agent and finding probably her best groove of her career right now. And we're going to discuss fees, efficiency, and marketing. She joins us all the way from Perth. Karen, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Lee. Happy to be on.
Karen, how long have you been in real estate?
This will be my 16th year, actually.
16 years. What you've learned in that time? What are you doing differently today that's allowed you to do what you do today from that journey?
Yeah, I guess the last few years, I'm balancing children and things now, so it's changed a lot over that time. So now I'm focusing more on being smarter and more productive with my time. So I work on average about 25 to 30 hours a week now, whereas previously I was doing 6.5 days and, it was hard work. But I'm actually having my best years ever. Compared to when I was working those 6.5 days, I'm only working, half that time and doing my best years. So it's pretty good. It's a nice balance. Yeah.
And it's amazing how, and we'll go into this in a moment, how that efficiency is kicked in where you're very tough of your time and you're working to a good and strict routine that's allowed you to get that time back, because there's a lot of people, Karen, doing 70 hours a week, but there's no production to show for it, whereas your results have been phenomenal. Just for our international listener, what type of real estate are you selling and where is that real estate?
I'm selling residential real estate. I specialise in the suburbs of Careen and Duncraig, which are family suburbs. So on average, I sell a 4x2 house with, average, or your medium house price in Careen is sitting at about 1.2.
Wow. And your fees have been very good, and we might jump straight into that one. Karen, you've been running a different fee offering, and I'm going to let you explain it to our listener, because when we spoke about this the other day, it was so refreshing. Fees of value are so important in an industry that's really been damaged by the fees of the agent as the agents draw those fees down. What are you doing here?
Yeah, well, a lot of the agents in my area I find are cutting the fee a lot, and they're charging kind of 2 to, even sometimes less percent, whereas I have introduced a performance-based fee schedule now, where basically I set a range of where my base fee is, which my base fee is 2.2. I don't want to go lower than that, and that's inclusive of GST, and then it goes all the way up to 3.2%. And how I introduce that when we come to talking to the seller about the fee and how that works is I've got a sheet of paper there that shows that's the range. And I basically explain to them that we're on a performance-based fee, and with that performance-based fee, they actually get to choose at offer time where they feel that we should sit within that range, being the base fee and up to the higher end. So they actually have the option to nominate a fee within that range, and that is based on our performance, the price that we get them, the service that we deliver them, and it's holistic as well. So we are often getting fees now of 2.4%, 2.5, 2.9. I've even had a 3.2% fee which is amazing. And what I say to them is that we just want that chance to get paid more. So, we're perfectly fine if you choose the base fee. There's no pressure from us if you feel that that's the performance that we've given to you, but we want the chance to get more if you feel that we've done, a great performance and done a great job with your property.
Absolutely fantastic. And I love the word base fee because it's not a reduced fee. And I also love the word chance. And I think most people listen to this particular podcast because what are the next words I can pick up on that may improve what I do? Karen, I might just play owner there and get you to explain that as you would. So we're mid-flight in the presentation. It's coming up to that part now where the investment in the agent's a topic of conversation. How do you bring it up? And I'll be the owner.
Yeah, so I would usually say to the seller, so I guess you're wanting to find out about what our fees are. We actually do a performance-based fee now, and how that works is that we've got a range that we sell between, and you get to choose at offer time where you feel that we sit within that range. And that range, as you can see on the sheet here, starts at 2.2% being our base fee and goes up to 3.2%. And we just really what we're hoping for from you is just the chance to be paid more. So if we do an amazing performance for you, we get you an amazing price and you're really happy with our service, we just want that chance to be paid more. So I guess it's incentive based for you as a seller in that you choose and you nominate where you want us to be within that range. There's no pressure about where you can choose within that. There's no, sit down and, you have to choose more range. It's really just that we are happy for you to choose at the time of offer when we present them to you and say, here are your best offers, and you've decided to accept one, and then you choose what you feel that we're, what you're happy to pay us in that range at that time. And, often, a lot of sellers say to me, where do most people choose? And I say, look, a lot of them choose in the middle, a lot of them choose higher. It's entirely up to you. We're happy either way.
Karen, how awesome, because you can actually then have a scenario where you say, these are my last 50 sales, and this was the average ranges that came in. But even when you say my last 50 or 100 sales, it's showing you're getting results, and people don't mind paying for the result. And what I think you're doing really well here is it is optional. So back in the role play there. So if I said to you, so Karen, just so I'm clear here, you're saying the base fee is 2.2. I can choose to pay that. But if you did get some extraordinary figure and I did want to increase that, I have that control. And when do I do that?
Absolutely. The power stays with you the whole time. And so when we come to present those offers to you at that final stage and you're choosing to accept one and we've got no further negotiation with them, you then sign the bottom part of this form that you nominate. You literally insert the figure into that gap there, and you sign off to say that that's what you want to pay for this situation, this deal.
Brilliant. And just for our listener, Karen, here, you have got your own little annexure that you have to the agreement, which has got that all written out on a PDF. So it's explaining the performance-based fee, and that's all part of your agreement.
Yeah, so at the top part of the agreement is that they're signing to say they understand that it is a performance-based fee, and that they have the option to choose in that range at time of acceptance. And then the bottom part is the bit that we sign together, or they sign on their own when we're looking through those offers and making that final decision. That's when they nominate the fee that they do want to pay us.
Well, Karen, that is perfect clarity for our listener. And we're doing like a double tip today because we're so interested in your efficiency. So that's our fee part of the interview. Take us into the thinking behind a well-informed owner is easier to manage, which is a conversation we've had on this program many times. But you're now using voice notes to communicate with the owner. Take us into that and how you explain that to the owner.
Yeah, so when I'm sitting with the owner and we're talking about the process of how the marketing campaign is going to look, I explain to them that we do use voice memos, that we do create WhatsApp groups if they're happy to use that, and we put all of us into that group, and myself and my leverage agent can see all of the text in there, and we pretty much encourage them to keep everything in that one place. all emails, all documents, everything goes into there. So that, you know, we haven't got 10 emails coming through or 10 text messages. It's just kept in that central place. It's a lot easier to track as well that way, and we're not missing anything. So, like any agent, we get inundated with messages and emails all the time. So we like to keep in that one spot. But voice memos come in when I'm doing home opens or I do a viewing, instead of calling the owner afterwards, which I find it's hit or miss, because you can get them sometimes, or they call back and I'm with my kids, or I call them back and they're with their kids. I just do pretty much a voice dump of the summary of the home open. So it's usually a 2 or 3 minute recording. And I'm basically saying, you know, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Karen Richards from Noble Avenue, just giving you a summary from our home open today. We had, you know, 15 groups through. Out of those 15 groups, I've tagged that 5 of them want to receive an offer kit for your property. And I explain basically and go into, you know, a bit of the detail about the buyers' names, their situations, and I summarise. And I always say, actually, on the first voice note that I send out to them, that, look, I'm not a robot. I do voice memos because I find it really easy to share all the information that I need to with you. And it means that you don't have to then, you know, try and interpret that and pass that on to your partner or a family member. You can actually share it with anyone that you like. You know, you can share it with your cousin or whoever's asking. You can replay it all the time. And you can also look back on past weeks as well, and past you know, voice notes that I've made. So I do that after every home open. I do that after every viewing. I also do it when I'm in the middle of negotiation with other parties and I just want to give the seller an update. I'll do a summary, or when I'm looking to start to refine the price even, or the price guide, I'll do it then again on that and send that into the WhatsApp group. So it's all, again, as I said, all in that one place. And I just find, you know, as opposed to them maybe interrupting me or me losing track of what I'm talking about, it's just, I literally just get it all out onto my voice note, send it off, and it's done. And it's good for me too, because I listen back to them and go, okay, that was what was happening with that buyer at the time. And yeah, and that's what I've told them. And yeah, it just keeps me on track, really. So, but I use it for other things as well, because after I get out of an appraisal, I do, you know, a 5-minute, 10-minute recording of what I thought of the home, what price I said, what fees I said. Everything's put into there. So I use it for a lot of things, actually.
So good and so efficient. And what I really like about what you've done here is you're using WhatsApp as the home passport for the property, where everything's in one digital holding and you don't have to have files, cross-match files for yourself and your wonderful leverage agent assistants there. Everyone's seeing the one thing at the one time. What about the property checklist between you and your leverage agent? Because I know you spend a lot of time working from home, on the road. You're not always in the office. How have you best been able to manage that?
Yeah, so we've got a WhatsApp group as well. So myself and my PA have a WhatsApp group, so everything goes into there. Again, you know, we do voice memos, we do just messages in there, documents, everything again goes in there. So we've got our own WhatsApp. Yeah. and we you know, call it, you know, the team Rich's WhatsApp, and we've got a little picture of a frog. So we always talk about eating frogs. So that's our icon for our team.
Love it. And Karen, also, when you are walking around the property, you've brought digital into your game there, where most people have like a property progress report or a property report when they're doing the assessment appraisal on the home. You're doing it different. You're using photos. Take us into that.
I am. So I introduced that maybe about 2 years ago, where I just found that, I don't know, I would write notes on a sheet and not necessarily getting lost, but there would just be piles of properties on my desk or in my file, and it just wasn't very efficient. And I couldn't connect as much with the sellers when I was walking through the property as well. So now when I walk in and we start to talk about doing a tour, whichever stage that is, I will say to them, look, I can write notes if you prefer, but I would prefer to take photos. It just makes it a lot easier for me to be able to recall the house. And I said, it's just for me. I don't share it with anyone. So it doesn't have to be looking perfect, but it just means that I, you know, remember the property a lot better and I can talk to you better as well. So I take photos of every room that I go through. I take photos of the air conditioning, panel, the brand of the oven, so that I'm ready to go when we're writing an ad for the property. I have all that detail there. So it's pretty much ready to go for an ad. Yeah.
Fantastic. And this is what makes you the modern agent. Karen, for all those mums who sell real estate, who are constantly chasing the lifetime guilt and bringing all this together, what's been your biggest learn on that part of your career of how you've been able to, and I've known you a long time, but this is the happiest I've seen you selling real estate. What can you share with that?
Yeah, I think it comes down to really, I guess I really want to spend time with my kids. I really want to see them. I want to pick them up after school and have that, that downtime with them where they can tell me about their day. So I really work my schedule to that. I make sure, and even, going to the gym as well, I put that in my diary, and I only work between certain hours on certain days. So it's, I guess, about managing that time, and these tools of using the audio recordings, the photos, all of that just makes it a lot quicker. And, as a mum, I have so much to remember. Like I just, I've got to think about all these things for the kids and for life. And I just find this kind of cheats my way through in that, I have the resources there. I don't have to remember, appraisal I did a month ago or anything like that, because I've kind of foolproofed it really. So just because I know it's just tough. There's always a lot going on, I think, in everybody's life. And, doing those recordings after appraisals have been huge for me. And I listen back on that, when I might appraise it a month ago, and then they ring me and they said, we're ready to go. And I'm like, oh, crap, what have I said to them? What fee was it? What price was it? And I can listen back on that, and I can share that with my assistant Steph. And even within that, I'll say, look, I've recommended they do carpets, painting, etc. And I'll send that through to Steph, and she can get straight onto the work, organising someone to do the painting and carpet. So it's just time efficiency, and it means that I get to see my kids more, and I'm not getting, interrupted in the afternoon on the weekends when the sellers are trying to call me back for, what's happened at the home open, how many groups did we come through. I've already done that. I've sent off those audio messages, and I'm free, I'm free to enjoy my time in those afternoons. And it's so nice. It's a whole different way of working. I wish that I'd done this years ago. But I got there,
Very much so. And, the fact that you are creating a communications plan, which is really what you've done here so well. When you and I were chatting the other day, I just fell in love with the fact you've been able to nail this. And just on that, for workload and workflow, I know 90% of everything you touch sells, or even 95% of everything you touch sells, but how many do you carry in at any given time, and what's a good year look like?
Yeah, I sell between 40 to 50 properties a year. And, pretty much all of them turn over. It'd be very rare, maybe one in a year that I might not sell, and that would be for whatever reason it is. So I'm riding at heading towards doing 50 mil for the year, which is really exciting of value of property sold, and, definitely over a mil gross. So that's really exciting, and it will be my best year ever. And hopefully I'll be a grandmaster this year instead of just a master salesperson. That's my aim, and it looks like that's going to be achieved. So
yeah, fantastic. And there's just one other person working with you?
Yeah, Steph, and she is absolutely amazing. I call her sunshine in human form. She is my yin to my yang. She's the fluff, and I'm the more direct person. But I cannot. I say to her all the time, if you quit, I quit. That's it. So she's absolutely amazing, and she's a mum too, and she only works part-time as well. So we're both very we find it's very important to us to spend time with our kids, and we're protective of that, I guess. So yeah, life's not just about selling, and apparently you can sell really well and do really well and work less hours. So it's great.
Absolutely love it. And final question for you, the actual listed to settle checklist of the property that you run between you and Steph, how is that done? I know it's captured in WhatsApp, but are you running a checklist for that, or is it done through software?
Yeah, no, there's a checklist. We've got both manual and also in the system. I guess we did I think it's 50-point checklist of what to do through that process. And Steph's on top of that now. She never misses a beat. It was all, explained when she first started training with me, and she didn't come from real estate at all. So she was up and running within, I think, about a month. She was just amazing. She just took to it straight away. And I guess I had put that time in to do that process as well. So it was easy for her to just follow it through. And I call it my Bible, basically, that I've got, which has all of my processes in it. So she's just followed that and she's improved on it, really. So it's pretty. I never have to check anything with her as well. She just does it. It's great. She's ahead of me, actually. She's quite intuitive.
Absolutely. Such a good story. And Karen, I know doing audios and things are quite different for you. You're a very private person, but this just had to be done today. Like what you've done with fees, photos, WhatsApp, digital, home passport, and the fact it's resulted in the efficiency and your best year ever. This is a great audio for all our listeners to take note on, and you can do this without burning 70 hours a week. It's being done. You've got two super mums here doing it. And Karen, great interview. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thanks, Lee.
And that concludes today's program. I hope you found it as special as I did. Someone like Karen has had 16 years in this industry. I know personally she's done the Complete Salesperson course probably 7 or 8 times and also participated in our super coaching program. Progressive learning. Having those projects of your career that progress you forward is the only way forward. And for Karen, off air we were chatting, and without getting this together, she was done. She was going to move on. She didn't want to keep going, doing what she was doing in 6.5 days a week. And I think for everyone in real estate, there comes a point where you've had enough. I want to do this different. How can I reinvent? Stop listening to all the noise around you. Get on to those passionate projects, the one you are passionate about, that will change your career for you. Thank you for listening. I'm thoroughly enjoying the attraction of people to this particular podcast and all the wonderful people who share their story. I'm Lee Woodward. I look forward to seeing you at the Complete Salesperson course. Till next week, goodbye.